What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another video. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about the Detroit Lions' brand new linebacker, Jamie Collins, because he got some love today. So let's get it started. Welcome in, everybody, to another video. Glad you guys are here. And yes, we're talking about Jamie Collins today, the linebacker for the Detroit Lions. Now, I have told you guys that this is hands down the best player the Lions brought in this offseason. Like, there's just no debate. He is the best player the Lions brought in this offseason, at least in my opinion. Now, for 2020. Now, he has high expectations for this year and years to come because he's on a 3-year deal. And maybe 2 years down the road, we're saying Jeff Okudah's the best. Maybe we're saying DeAndre Swift was the best. Maybe we're saying, heck, Danny Shelton was the best. But as of right now, I'm telling you, a healthy Jamie Collins is the best player we brought in this offseason because he is so good. Jamie Collins is so good. He can do everything well, and he is that piece we were missing defensively. He was absolutely worth the money. 30 years old. That ain't too old, man. That is not too old. That's basically right in the prime. Now, maybe 2 years later, maybe he's getting up in age a little bit, but for this season, this guy's going to be an absolute beast. Now, there's a huge concern with Jamie Collins, and that is that, well, when he's in Cleveland, he really didn't play that well, but when he's in New England, he played very well. So the hope is that, well, the Lions play such a similar defense to the Patriots that he'll be fine with the Detroit Lions, right? He'll be really good here. And, you know, for the most part, I would say that's very true. I would say he had one actually really good year with the Cleveland Browns, and we'll talk about that a little bit. At least maybe not really good, but good, pretty good year with the Cleveland Browns, and we'll talk about why he did. But basically, ESPN did this anonymous voting, right, where they're going to be ranking players by position, okay? And they had anonymously people voting, you know, the coaches, NFL executives, scouts, assistants, whatever it may be. These guys are voting on the best players by position. And at the end of it all, Jamie Collins came in ranked as the 8th best player at his position. 8th. That's really good. Top 10 at his position. So obviously the rest of the league believes he's a very good player, but he also got even more love than that, as one unnamed, anonymous NFL coordinator said Jamie Collins is the 2nd best in the league at his position. The 2nd best in the league at his position. Now, again, we don't know who this is, but we do know that he believes he's the 2nd best in the league, all right? He says he can cover running backs. He's a good blitzer. He lines up at edge rusher or off the ball. He's very instinctive, and he has good football intelligence and makes plays. Yes, I would say that definitely sums up what Jamie Collins can do for the Detroit Lions, right? You can move him around. He's got the versatility, so he's great for this defense. Obviously, he's going to be comfortable in this defense because it's very similar. He can cover really well tight ends, running backs, which we absolutely need from our linebackers to be able to do. Good football intelligence and makes plays. He is definitely a playmaker. His stats will back that up. So that's the person that said he's the 2nd best in the league. Now, there was also someone else that had a lot of praise for him as well, and this is an NFL offensive assistant coach. Again, we don't know who it is, but he said this: there's no one like him. You use him to attack underneath stuff and at the line of scrimmage like Bill Belichick did, he's top 5. So again, there, he's kind of bringing up the point that, hey, if they do what they did with New England, he's going to be really good, not necessarily what they did in Cleveland. Now, what do they mean by that? Well, shout out to PFF for the stat because I didn't know this was a thing. But according to PFF, the Browns used him at the edge position over 30% of the time when he was in Cleveland. And when you look at New England, his time with the Patriots, he was only used about 11% of the time at the edge position. So you're telling me about 20 plus more % of the time he was put at the edge spot for the Cleveland Browns, and that's why he was more successful with New England. Now, people always say, hey, where is our linebackers going to go? And while I believe he will mix around in certain positions, he will be great in the inside because we need a guy there that can help with coverage. Jamie Collins is not a pure pass rusher. There's a reason we brought in Julian Okwara. He's not a pure pass rusher, but you put him underneath, he can cover. You know, if you watch our team, that's how we utilize our linebackers, right? They'll drop, they'll cover the guys that are going crossing routes, they'll blitz the middle, or they'll sit there in a spy. And that's what we need from those interior linebackers. And when you have guys there that struggle with coverage and zone awareness, that's where you have problems. We saw it with Jared Davis. But a guy like Jamie Collins is very good with his awareness, and because of that, he's going to take this defense to another level in 2020. So, to back up that stat, I had to go back and watch, and it seems pretty true. Now, there is one year that didn't necessarily seem true, and that was 2018. And in 2018, I saw him play, which was his final year with the Cleveland Browns, play inside a lot on that defense. He played a lot inside for the Cleveland Browns, and if you look at his stats, just his stats alone, you could see that 2018 was easily the best season that he had with the Cleveland Browns. So clearly, there's something to playing him in the inside. And in 2017, if you watch him with the Cleveland Browns, you will see that they had a mix of a 4-3 and a 3-4. And when they were in a 4-3, he would be inside. But when they were in a 3-4, they would put him out there on the edge. And 2017 was clearly not their best season. So I think what we're seeing here is, yes, you have to play a guy like Jamie Collins in the inside, because not only me and many other people believe, but also NFL, people that work with the NFL, coaches, stuff like that, that also understand that if this guy plays inside, he is an absolute problem because he's just a problem. And here's what someone else had to say about Jamie Collins. That was good for us because the stuff Jamie does is scary, one coach said. So he's basically saying it's good for us that he's on the edge because when he's inside, he's scary, which he absolutely is because of his ability to drop and cover the big plays. We saw flashes last year of our guys able to do that. Remember when Jelani Tavai had the interception versus Tampa Bay? Now think of a guy that fits in really well to the defense and knows exactly what he's doing with Jelani Tavai. Jelani Tavai showed us flashes of, hey, this is how great you can be if you know your role over the middle and once you get comfortable. And when Jamie Collins sits over the middle like that, that duo can be really, really good. And all of a sudden you got guys on the edge like Julian Okora, Romeo Okora, you know, Austin Brown. We got all these dudes for the edge. We have tons of guys for the edge. Maybe we bring in more players, maybe we don't. Maybe Jared Davis bounces out more to the edge even more in 2020. We'll have to wait and see. I think he'll be more rotational. But as you guys can see, man, playing him in the inside is where Jamie Collins is successful. And that's what I think the Detroit Lions will do a lot more in 2020. Now, I do think there will be times where he plays at the edge role because you got to keep it mixed up. You got to keep, you know, things changing. And he will blitz from the inside and from the edge, right? You got to mix things up. However, when he is in the inside, this guy's an absolute game changer. And I feel like defensively, that's what we need. We need really talented linebackers in this defense. And I think on the inside is where we needed help. We need help there. Jared Davis and Jelani Tavai, that's a big problem, right? Jared Davis has never been that good with coverage over the middle. And that's been a big problem. Sure, he can blitz a little bit and he's not a bad tackler, but over the middle there's a problem. Now, we know this offseason Jared Davis bulked up, right? Jared Davis got big. He got really big, right? He had like 20 pounds of muscle. Well, when you get that big, maybe that's so that he can possibly move to that edge position easier than being a lighter guy on the edge. That way he can take on some of those offensive linemen much easier. And you can put a guy like Jamie Collins the inside with Jelani Tavai. We could have an absolute problem there because I know Matt Patricia knows how to use Jamie Collins, right? He's been with him before. He knows where he's successful, and that's exactly why he brought him in. That's exactly why he paid him 3 years, $30 million, which probably no one else was willing to do. There's a reason he gave him that money because he's like, I know how great this guy can be in my defense. So we're going to bring him in. We're going to give him money. He's going to be a beast in 2020. I'm telling you guys, and some people also believe he can as well if they use him the right way. So I'm excited to see Jamie Collins, man. He is probably my favorite addition. Maybe my favorite addition this offseason, if I'm being honest. Maybe my favorite addition. Maybe aside from DeAndre Swift. We'll have to wait and see. But yes, I love the Jamie Collins addition, and I'm super excited to see what we can do 2020. Let me know your thoughts, comments below. Thank you for watching, and I'm out.